Hello, Multiverse. Welcome to Omniverse Gamers. My name is Damian Bazzaio. This video is going to dissect another dynamic encounter. I'm going to call this one Rowboat and Shark because we have this is from a game I call Alleged Asylum Adventures. They are a bunch of magic users who are in this asylum, and they're trapped in this asylum, but they're also having these dream sequences and visions of escaping the asylum every now and then. Even though they're told they've only been there one day, they've actually experienced like 3 or 4 days worth of stuff by now. They were in this rowboat escaping from the asylum, or they think they are. And there's a little girl in the center because they kind of just appear in this boat. They don't remember how they got to this boat. Apparently, there's a little girl and there's a little tiny boy in the bow of this boat who apparently helped them escape. And they just kind of wake up groggy from whatever experiments that was going on them. It's rainy, it's lightning, it's a really crappy night at sea, and they can see kind of like the shadowy the lightning and the asylum's kind of way back up on the hill. So it was a very ambient kind of game. This is a Roll20 game. The party's on a rowboat. There's three of them. There's a shadow sorcerer, a psionic wizard, and a hexblade at second level, which they are not very strong. So they're in a boat by themselves. None of them are strong, so they don't row very well. And this little girl, Alice, is rowing, and they have this whole history with her. And this little boy's in the front, kind of like cowered over, kind of freaking out. And he's like the focal point of this encounter, was meeting this little boy because he's kind of crucial to this whole campaign and the storyline going on. They don't know that yet, but they find that out as they go. So they're in this rowboat. Let me switch over to my side view here. As you can see, this is Roll20. The video didn't come out too great. So, but this map, it's a little fuzzy, but it'll do. So basically, they're in this rowboat. And there's these little eyeball things surrounding them, which they've kind of interacted with these eyeballs before. These eyeballs kind of watch them. They're all kind of one eye that it moves in unison, and they're creepy, and they fought them before. But this time, the eyeballs are just kind of surrounding their boat, watching them escape. It's just kind of the ambience of the game. They were kind of like, whoa, and as long as they didn't attack the eyeballs were not going to attack them. They didn't know that, but they were just kind of like, well, what are these eyeballs? And then they make perception checks, and then after a certain perception check, they see this dark figure underneath the water, and it's a massive shark. The fin comes out of the water, and this shark is a giant shark from the Monster Manual, which second level parties should not be fighting. But I manipulated him, and there's ways that in this encounter, I didn't actually even attack the party with the shark. The shark attacked the boat. The shark's goal was to eat the girl and to eat the little boy. Basically, the shark's goal was to sink the boat so they couldn't escape and to eat the little boy, because the little boy is crucial to their survival. So the whole point of this the shark kind of went underneath ominously, and they're like, whoa, what's happening? And they started shooting their magical stave, Eldritch Blast, and they're all magic users, so they have range. So they just started shooting stuff at this shark. The shark kind of swirls, back and forth, and then it nudges the boat once underneath, and then so they have to make athletics checks to try to keep on their feet. And if they fall, they kind of hurt themselves a little bit. It was minor damage, but they were they're second level. They don't have a lot of hit points, so they just kind of jostled and whatever by the shark. That happens a couple passes, and they're dealing damage. I did not expect them to defeat the shark. My goal at the end was to have this tidal wave come and knock them out, and then they're gonna wind up like Castaway on a beach. That was my goal the whole time. But the shark, had 100 and whatever. I gave it so many hit points. They kept nailing on it. They kept hammering it, and they made a couple passes. So the next pass, the shark comes right at the center of the boat. And now in Roll20, what I had done is I drew a boat myself, and then I cut the boat in half. So I actually had the bow of the boat, the boat was maybe this big. I had like the bow here, and then I had the back, and then in the middle, I had nothing, but I had the whole boat, and then I had a back and a front. So as the shark came through and hit the boat, he shattered the boat in half. So I took the center of the boat out, so all it was the front and the back. And they got thrown up in the air. I made them roll, I think, acrobatic. It was a dexterity saving throw to see if they took damage from falling and like landing on the debris and a smash or getting blown up. So they took quite a bit of damage from that as the shark swam through the boat. Plus now they're in the water. The shark's turning around. They're scrambling to get back on the two parts of the boat that are still floating. The little boy's in the bow, and the hexblade goes up into the bow with him. The other two scramble up to the stern of the boat. So now they're on these like wobbly like pieces of wood that are basically rafts now, fighting the shark. And now the shark is coming right at the little boy. So they just keep hammering it, and I totally, in my mind, the shark was going to get the boy and just attack. The hexblade was going to take damage, and then the wave was going to hit, and it was a whole big dramatic ending to the scene. They ended up doing just enough damage to kill that shark. I was shocked, but it was great. They were all excited. So the shark came right up to the boy in its face, and then the last shot, boom, and the shark went down. It was just a dead hull. It kind of nudged up against And then that was the end of that combat. And then the waves came and just smashed them. I'd like to say that was 4 rounds of combat, and I literally didn't attack the party at all. The shark just hit the boat, nudged them, knocked them prone. It hit the boat again, nudged them, knocked them prone, and that third time it smashed the boat in two. And then I was coming around, and now if the shark had different intent to bite them, obviously a giant shark versus a second level character, they are not going to survive that bite. The shark will eat them. But the shark was after the little boy, and they found out that the shark has these symbols on it, and everything in this game represents something in the real world. This is like their dream sequence. So the shark was actually, it's called Black Omega. It's like the leader, the big bad boss of the asylum. Is they call him Black Omega. He runs the asylum. So the shark was like a mental representation of that. So they weren't supposed to defeat it, but they did, and it just happened. And then I had the wave come and swipe them. So that was just a simple rowboat versus shark encounter on Roll20. You could use that. You could use any monster to do that. The rowboat thing was cool how I split it in two. It was just 3 different pictures. Like I said, the bow and the stern, and then the whole boat together. And I just kind of, you hold down Alt and Roll20, and you can get them lined up in the map, in the background section. And then when the shark came through, I just went into the background. I removed the big boat, so all that was left was the 2 pieces. And as you can see, it worked out great. And so that was Rowboat and Shark. I hope that helps you guys kind of design your own encounters and see how I do it at sea, how you can fight a low-level party with a big monster and not even actually attack them, but make it very dramatic and very scary for them. And it was a fun encounter that I did not even attack them directly at all. So we are Omniverse Gamers. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Hope to see you soon, and keep on gaming.